Hello there, and you're very welcome to another episode of the Arkham Avengers FFPL podcast. You join me, the host, along with Eamon, Hector, and Captain Fantastical Mick, where we take a look to see how the managers in this league are getting on for the season. However, we'll also be talking about much more. So kick back, stay tuned, and enjoy. And a very warm welcome to all our listeners to this week's show. I hope you're all keeping well, and as usual, Eamon is here with me, and this week, Hector is back. How are you both keeping?
I'm very well, thank you for asking. And again, it's nice to be on the show. Caught up with some of the football, there was rugby as well, and I had some reading as well as a couple of articles to write. And so overall, I have to say, since our last appearance on the show, it's been very good. Time is flying very quickly, and look, it's a nice stretch in the evening as well, and it's nice to see the sun out. It was out today, and I could feel a little bit of heat, the sun on my face there. It was very nice.
The stretch in the evening is nice. Hector, how are things with you? Well, as I say, I had little problem with the glasses. Everything now be fine. Other than that, I'm good. I've been busy. Few things to do, but looking, like Eamon said, time flying very quickly. Yes, you said there was something wrong with the glasses. These are the new glasses only after getting the other week. You said you had to get them fixed. Did you need to get them adjusted or something? I had a little problem with them. I accidentally stood on them and I damaged them.
You stood on your glasses? Why would you do that? How did you do this, Hector? And before you say that you put your foot in it, I mean, who would be standing on their glasses like that? That doesn't make any sense.
I go to bed, and I take glasses off and I put him on the locker. But during the night at some point, maybe the duvet or my arm might have hit the glasses, knocked him onto the floor. And then I woke up the next morning, my alarm went off. But I was a little bit late, I was feeling a little bit tired, and I was late to go and catch a bus because I had to go to Dublin. And I jump out of bed and I land my foot straight down on glasses. And the little arm or the leg that go from glasses onto the ear, well, that snap up, it get broke. And I could not wear them then. They wouldn't sit properly with, only one of those leggies or the arms in place. I had to go over to the optician and ask them if they could fix them for me.
If you don't mind me saying, Hector, I think that's a little bit hapless of you. You'd want to be more careful in future. Like, why don't you put them into a case or something?
Yes, Eamon, I know. At this time, I put them further back on the locker and I have a book in front now. And so they not fall on floor again. I will not be making that mistake again every time.
Okay, so everything else is good, apart from that little mishap with the glasses.
Yeah, all is good. Yeah, very good. Yeah, all is good. All is good with you then?
Yeah, so all is fine with me. Yes, thanks very much. Okay, lads. And no word from Captain Fantastical Mick. I think he's really snowed under with work over in Blackpool. We'll just leave him be for the time being. Okay, we will make contact with him, and I know he will be in contact with us, but I think we'll leave him as is for now and let him get sorted out there. I think he's a lot of work there.
He certainly will have a lot of work, and I wouldn't like to be in his shoes, let's put it like that.
I suppose we better go and have a look at Gameweek 22, and after we have a look at this, we might have just a little bit of news for our listeners that you'll be interested in. Okay, moving on. Gameweek 22. The highest points were 144 and the average points were 48. There has been some movement on the league table after Gameweek 22 wrapped up, and I'm going to be quite interested to hear what both of you have to say about this. In first place, and they have risen from the previous Gameweek's second spot, is Kane's a keeper. 86 points. They had one transfer, Eamon. Take it away.
Indeed, yes, they had one transfer. Fernandez came in and got 12 points. De Bruyne was put out for 1 point. Their goalkeeper was Arrizabalaga, who got 10 points. Gabriel got 2 points. Trippier picked up 2 points. Shaw had 6 points. Odegaard had 2 points. Fernandez, as I said, had the 12 points. Martinelli came in with 1 point. And Mahrez had 1 point. Haaland had the 2 points. Kane had 8 points. And they went for Rashford as their captain. He got 20 points. Yeah, it's a good transfer move, bringing in, the donkey. He's done the business. A solid captain choice in Rashford. He is on form. He's one of the better players to be selected for your captain these days. I think that the Man City and the Arsenal players, they let the manager down a little bit this week. They're not performing as good as they should have. And this manager, of course, has their eye on first place. And they pounced and they've taken it. Now, they hold it. They will expect that these players are going to do a little bit better for them moving forward. It's a good result, though. It's been a long time coming. This is the manager who won last year. He's back in business, big time. He's taken top spot. And is now putting it up to any of those other managers who feel that they could win this. Well, this is your opportunity to show it now.
Also up to second place from last week's third is Tayega with 93 points. Hector, they didn't have any transfer, but they played as triple captain. Yes, they also had the goalkeeper, Arkham with the 10 points. Trippier was there with 2 points. White had 2 points. Shaw had 6 points. Almiron had 2 points. Casemiro picked up a -1 point. De Bruyne had 1 point. Kane had 8 points. Tony had 1 point. Haaland had 2 points. And as you said, they had a triple captain, and this was the Rashford, and he picked up 60 points. They are certainly back in the game here, I see. It's a great result, and it's a good response after the result from Gameweek 21. They're certainly back in the game. They're 4 points behind first place. If you were going to call this like a name of a movie, I would say it's Tayega Strikes Back. Okay, very good. So you're impressed anyway with that. It's certainly a very good captain choice, and an excellent result for them. Perhaps maybe, Trippier, White, 2 points, let him down. The Casemiro getting the -1, not great either. Those 0.2 points, you're losing points there, but look, it's good. They're moving in the right direction. They responded. That's what we wanted. And of course, then down to third, and they were previously in first place, is the good, the bad, and the goalie. 71 points. Hector, I might return to you on this. One transfer. Yes, they had the one transfer. Fernandez came in for the 12 points, and De Bruyne went out. 1 point. Goalkeeper is the Ederson. 1 point. Trippier, 2 points. Shaw picked up 6 points. White had 2 points. The Rashford had the 20 points. Odegaard had 2 points. Almiron had 2 points. Nketiah had 2 points. Haaland had 2 points. Kane had the 8 points. And they went for the captain Fernandez, and he got 24 points. Like Kane's keeper, they decided to bring the Fernandez, and they back a donkey, and the donkey come good for him this time. He won the derby. While Fernandez do good, the rest of the team, they seem to have let him down a little bit, and a lot of 2 points coming around here. Trippier 2 points, Haaland 2 points, Nketiah 2 points, Almiron 2 points, Odegaard 2 points. All those 2 points are all adding up a little bit there. Yes, this caused it slip a little. And I think maybe now, because Kane's keeper have gone to first and the Tayega have rebounded, there's pressure now on this manager to see what he can do next. Okay, up to fourth. Previously in sixth place is Arkham Avengers. They had 126 points. They had 2 transfers. They got -4 points. Eamon, I'm going to hand this one to you.
They decided to change their goalkeepers. Of course, De Gea had the double game week. So De Gea came in for 3 points, and they put Pope out for 2 points. Fernandez was brought in for 12 points, and they also put De Bruyne out for 1 point. As I said, De Gea, the goalkeeper, got 3 points. Me got 13 points. Trippier had 2 points. White had 2 points. Odegaard had 2 points. Fernandez was there with 12 points. Matoma had 11 points. Anotto had 11 points. Kane had 8 points. Haaland had 2 points. And they decided to triple captain Rashford. They got 60 points.
Triple captain played. Okay.
The transfer worked out. I mean, Ferdinand was a gold star transfer. De Gea, look, they got an extra point, and that was it. But look, it paid off. They didn't lose any points. I think there were some very good points picked up across the team. And I think the triple captain, it was something that we didn't expect, even though we knew that they had a double week. I think there were a lot of managers thinking, would they go for Rashford or would they hold out for Haaland for the next double week? This manager decided to take a punt on Rashford, and it's paid off. It's a great score from Rashford, 60 points, triple captain. It's very good. And I think, if anything, the spoofer is really starting to put in a performance over the last couple of weeks that I certainly didn't expect. I know I said that a couple of weeks ago, this manager, their season was over, and I said that several weeks back, but they're really putting a run together. And, 126 points is nothing to be sneezed at, especially when you said the highest points were 144. A very good result from the spoofer. I think that if they were to continue like this, they could be a force to be reckoned with here.
And a result of Arkham Avengers going up, down to 5th from last game week's 4th, is Lafayette Lions, 79 points. No transfer. They played a wild card, though. Eamon, I'll go back to you on this one.
Opted for a wild card. They brought in they had De Gea as the captain for 3 points. Salaba had 2 points. Byrne had 2 points. Trippier had 2 points. Aronson had 1 point. Rashford had 20 points. Harrison had 4 points. Ganato was there from Leeds with 11 points. Haaland had 2 points. Kane had 8 points. And they opted the captain Fernandes. They got 24 points there. I think that 79 points is not a bad result, but they've been brushed aside there by the spoofer. I think they banked too much on having the two lads from Leeds there in midfield. And I think the captain choice worked. The defence, though, looks very poor. And they just didn't have enough in the tank to hold. Well, nobody was going to hold off Arkham Avengers there. Unless you played a triple captain and you were getting the amount of points there was nobody going to stand in the spoofer's way this week. And is it a waste of a wild card? It'll tell. The season will tell whether they've gone too early with the wild card.
And also down then to 6th place, previously in 5th, best season ever, 79 points. They had no transfers. And Hector, they also played a wild card. Yes, and they had De Gea 3 points, Trippier 2 points, Botman 2 points, Almiron had 2 points, Mitoma had 11 points, Mahrez had 1 point, Kane had 8 points, Haaland had 2 points, Nakadea had 2 points, and they opted for Captain Rashford, and he got 40 points. They went for a good captain choice. Like, as we said, Rashford a good choice for this weekend. A couple of weeks points don't knock around that. They were doing good, but now I think, they need to up their gear. They want to try and get back and hold on to the 5th place. They're kind of slipping a little bit. They are losing the traction. And especially when you think of like the Tayega, because we were saying here, Raglan Road, and we were saying Tayega could be in trouble. Now, Tayega have decided, no, I'm not in trouble. I'm going up. And this is putting the pressure now on the best season ever, especially when you see the Arkham Avengers, they jump from 6th up to 4th. They have been increasing week in, week out, the game weeks, and they are in the driving stage, they're putting the foot down on gas, and they are boom, and that is it. It's very good. So this manager going to have to have a little think about what they're going to do and where they want to do and how they're going to do. No change in 7th place. Raglan Road, 74 points. They had 1 transfer. Eamon, over to you on this.
They brought in Fernandes. They put Salah out. Edison was the goalkeeper for 1 point. They had Botman for 2 points. Trippier had 2 points. Gabriel had 2 points. Tayega Silva came in with 6 points. Fernandes, as we said, was there with 12 points. March was there with 3 points. Almiron had 2 points. Havertz had 2 points. Haaland had 2 points. And they backed Rashford as being the captain also and got 40 points there. It's a good transfer move, and the captain choice was good. Again, I think there's a few players there. They're a bit weak. They're knocking around. However, they're still within a stone's throw of 6th place. Don't panic yet. Hold your course. See what's going to happen with Lafayette and best season ever. Now, they did score less points than them, but 74 will keep them just about in the game there.
No change either then in 8th place. Blightsome squad, 57 points and 2 transfers, Hector. They brought the Rashford in for 20 points and they put the Salah out for 2 points. De Gea came in for 3 points and Ramsdale went out for 3 points. So as I said, their goalkeeper, he had De Gea 3 points, Trippier had 2 points, Ake had 2 points, Castagne had no point, Odegaard came in with 2 points, Mahrez had 1 point, Almiron had 2 points, Havertz had 2 points, Haaland 2 points, Tony 1 point, and they also captained the Rashford and they got 40 points there. The transfer to the goalkeeper really did not pay off. I know that De Gea had the double game week, but he only got the 3 points after all. Ramsdale, they got 3 points as well. The Rashford in, Salah out, good move, well done. But again, there are a number of players here who only get 2 points. And I think they have lost out. They had points on the bench with the goalkeeper and defender. They will not be too pleased with this. 57 points is keeping them out of any chasing pack here. They're falling a little bit behind here now. No change either then in 9th. What a beauty, 99, who picked up 18 points. Yeah, man.
No transfers. So we'll get on to the team. Pope was there with 2 points. Martinez was there with 3 points. Salah had 2 points. Trippier had 2 points. Colbeck had 1 point. De Bruyne had 1 point. Martinelli had 1 point. McAllister didn't get any points. Trossard had 1 point. Tony had 1 point, and their captain Haaland had 4 points. This is a pretty dismal result if you ask me, and have been asked and I'm saying it here. They still have Cancelo on their team. That just goes to show you how much attention this manager is paying to both the game and their team. They've completely checked out, and I don't think we've seen such a poor result for such a long time. This must be one of the worst results we've had since all of this started. Like, we're into the 3rd season of this, and I don't think we've ever had such a travesty of incompetence, inability, lack of engagement. Just, you nearly would be stuck for words on this. Like, 18 points. Where are they going with this? I mean, there's some of these players out there, like Fernandez, he's got 12 points. And like, that guy would nearly have more points. This manager's team has got all together. It's pretty dismal. They should be ashamed of themselves.
Up to 10th place then from last game week's 11. Kalish Bate, 38 points. Hector, no transfers. Their goalkeeper was Ward for 2 points. Shevchenko had 1 point. James had 1 point. Trippier had 2 points. Nico Williams had 5 points. Harrison had 4 points. Salah had 2 points. Almiron 2 points. St. Maximin was there with 2 points. Tony 1 point. And their vice captain, Kane, he got 16 points. I actually thought we had seen the last of this manager. I did not think he was going to be coming back up to a top 10. Although this manager not doing very much, it shows you a little reflection on the managers around him, that this guy is able to get back into a top 10 and the other ones just not able to keep him out. That's pretty poor, I have to say. Raymond, you have something to say there.
Yeah, I do agree with Hector. I thought we'd seen the last of this Egypt. I did not think this Egypt was going to be up here in 10th place. And Hector is right. This is pretty dreadful when you look at some of the other managers there. They're like a maximum effort. Like, come on, you've got experience. Take advantage of this guy not doing anything there. But no, they're not doing it. And instead, they're letting this non-entity, who was as bad as the What a Beauty 99 manager, to be getting them back into top 10. This is scutter at its best.
And speaking of maximum effort, we're in 10th. They're down to 11th with 32 points. 1 transfer, Eamon.
They brought in Watkins, who picked 11 points, and they put Mitrovic out for 2 points. Their goalkeeper was Pope for 2 points. Trippier had 2 points. Botman had 2 points. Kofel had 2 points. Saka had 2 points. Grosh had 3 points. Odegaard had 2 points. De Bruyne picked up 1 point. Tony had 1 point. As I said, Watkins had 11 points. And they opted for Haaland as the captain. Bringing in Watkins paid off. It was a good move. And that's as far as we got with this team. 6 players were on 2 points. And another 2 players picking up 1 point each. Where are you going with this? This is not going to get you moving. This is just nothing. They've certainly missed the mark. And I'd have a lot of doubts about this manager. And I have a lot of doubts about the players that they've got in there.
No change then at 12th place. Real, no stars. 30 points, no transfers. Hector.
Nothing much happening with this manager. Edison was in goals for 1 point. Cucurella, though, he got the 6 points. Nico Williams got 5 points. Alexander Arnold at 1 point. Salah had 2 points. De Bruyne had 1 point. Aronson had 1 point. Decore had 6 points. Martinelli picked up 1 point. Greenwood was there for 2 points, and they also opted to have Haaland as their captain for 4 points. There's not much I can really say here about this guy. You know, he got 30 points for doing nothing, and that's about it. Yeah, not much happening there, really.
There's nothing much happening here. If I were to describe this, I'd say it's a nothing week from a nothing happening manager. It's a pity there isn't. Do you know when you go to theatre sometimes and there's a trapdoor and somebody can just drop out of the play? It's a pity that there wasn't a trapdoor in this football league here to drop this manager out, because this manager and some of the rest of them shouldn't be in it. And I sincerely hope that, you know, when this football season is over, do we have a review of this here and people will reflect on what they were doing. Yeah, maybe they might think twice about putting in teams. I don't know. They have to do something. This can't go on here.
No change either then in 13th place with Silver Stroke, 23 points. Amen. No transfers.
Yeah, they didn't have any transfer. Edison is their goalkeeper for 1 point. Byrne was there with 2 points. Alexander-Arnold picked up 1 point. Mount had 3 points. March had 3 points. Saka had 2 points. Salah had 2 points. Trossard had 1 point. Haaland had 2 points. Mitrovic had 2 points. And Trippier, who they've backed all along as their captain, managed 4 points. They are lucky that Mount came in and brought those 3 points with them off the bench, because this would have led to a result that's almost rivaling what a clown. What a beauty. They're not getting traction here with this team. I think their last throw of the dice is a wild card. They did show glimpses of ability to move. They're hanging around the bottom of this table too much. And as I said, when you look at Khalif Bey, Real no stars, and let's throw them into the pot. What a beauty and maximum effort. They're not really doing much. If this manager even gave 10%, I'd say they could be in 11th spot there. And they started late and they showed a lot of potential, but they're just not applying themselves on that. It's like they dipped their toe into the water. It's a little bit cold. I'll step out again. And that's it. Now, I know it's their first time and they're learning their way and they're learning their trade. Maybe go for the wild card.
Finally, no change in 14th place. Better idea, 22-23. Hector.
Well, they had 24 points and no transfer. Surprise, surprise. And I'm not doing the silly, black job on this.
Cilla Black, you mean? Not silly. Cilla Black.
Sorry.
What I say? You said silly.
Oh, yeah. So it's anyway. Their team had goalkeeper Fabianski had 2 points. Saliba had 2 points. Sanchez had 1 point. James had 1 point. De Bruyne, 1 point. Osberg, though, did pick up 7 points, which is good. Ward-Prowse had 2 points. Andres had 2 points. Ings had 1 point. Tony had 1 point. And Salah was the captain. He got 4 points there. Again, there's not much you could say about it. Eamon, if you want anything, I could not think too much about this. It's nothing happening. Eamon?
Well, I'd say the only thing here that you could say, one good thing here, and this is down to pure luck, is this manager actually managed to get more points than Silver Stroke and What a Beauty 99. And again, it raises the questions about commitment. This is what it does. Are you in or are you out? This is it. Thanks very much for that analysis and comments on the managers there.
So look, are you saying here now, am I getting the impression here that Arkham Avengers look like they're making a big comeback?
I don't know about it being a comeback. It is a comeback of sorts. Certainly they've turned the season around here. They've upped their game. They played that wild card and they've followed it by an excellent treble captain choice. If you were to sit and look at this table and look at their results and look at where they're going, and if they're to continue in this form, third place is achievable, I think, for them. They've pulled pretty much 2 rabbits out of a hat here, the wild card and the triple captain. And I think it's caught a lot of managers on the hop. I think some managers were playing it safe. They took a punt on Rashford and it's worked out. I think, Jerry, the good, the bad, and the goalie went with Haaland previously, and the triple captain didn't work out that good there. Hector, what would you think?
Well, I think for myself, I would say it's like double strike. It's like you say, the lightning has struck twice. They're like the god of lightning now. They hit twice. Could they hit maybe a third time?
Well, we'll have to see what happens here, Hector. Clearly you've been watching the Marvel movies here, calling him the god of lightning. I thought you were going to mention that he was Thor or something like that. Before we come to Hector's hellos, I would just like to flag this with our listeners. And Eamon, you have some knowledge about this. We're going to have something very special coming up in the next couple of weeks here. We've had a scoop. It's the best way I probably describe it. And I'm sure our listeners are really going to enjoy this. It's going to be informative. And you could say it's something we didn't expect. We put it out there, but we didn't expect this to come along. Eamon, would you agree with that?
I'd say yes, most definitely. I think you've heard me saying this is pure gold, is what we've got here. This is a chat with a person, and this is a person of interest. in our show and in our league, and who our listeners like to hear from. And I think that it's going to be it's going to be worth it when you hear this now. You know what, Eamon? I think you're right.
What is this all about? What are you on about? Some person of interest. Who is this person of interest?
Now, Hector, all in good time. All in good time. You will be finding out with our listeners when the time is right.
Has Captain Fantastic and Mick been in touch or something?
No, we're saying no further now. Just stay tuned. We will have a little bit of information probably in the next episode. Okay, Hector, over to you.
Oh yeah, okay. Hello from Hector to all our listeners, and I give shout out to all in Mayo, Roscommon, Swords, Dublin, Monaghan, Donegal, Galway, Clare, down in Kerry, Waterford, Cork. We have listeners in Frankfurt on Main, listeners in Chicago, Missouri, Laufen, Bavaria, our listeners in Iran. Hope you're all well. Sweden, France, listeners in UK, Wales, Italy, Greece, Spain. We all have our listeners in India, Hungary, Vietnam, the Philippines, Japan, Australia, South Africa, Brazil. Hi to all my folks. Hope you're all keeping well. Hector, say hello. We have our listeners in Chile, Argentina, Canada, and Sudan.
Well, thank you very much for that, Hector. And I think, lads, that's about it. It's time now to really wrap up this show here. Thanks again for coming in. And listeners, and look, lads, it's Valentine's week. I hope that you're going to have a lovely Valentine's Day and a lovely Valentine's week. Is love in the air?
I'm not too sure about this.
Well, I tell you something, let's not push any love between myself and Hector. I don't want Cupid shooting arrows towards him, especially when I'm around here.
All right. Okay. Well, look, whatever you do, I hope you have a lovely day and a lovely Valentine's weekend. Let's feel the love.
And to our listeners, yet again, thank you for joining us. Thank you for subscribing, listening to us. Wherever you are, you're most welcome. And thank you. Don't forget to tell your friends, family, work colleagues. Stop that person on the street and say to them, have you heard Arkham Avengers Fantasy Football Premier League podcast? It's just not about football. It's about so much more. All that remains for me here to say is to wish you a very good week. Hope you have a nice few days ahead, nice weekend, and that you get back to join us next week. And really, all I have left to say is I hope that you have a good morning, a good afternoon, good evening, a good night. Wherever you are in the world, stay safe, mind yourselves, take care. We will be back. So long.